So I welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss about the subject CS8492 database management system. CS8492 database management system. So this is a 2017 regulation paper in computer science engineering department. So year of second year and fourth semester, right? So database management system. So what is mean by database? What is mean by data? And what is mean by database management system? So we are going to discuss about first of all data. So data means what? So data is a collection of informations. So what kind of information? Collection of information means what kind of informations? The informations like text, audios, numbers, videos. So whatever the informations we can collect it after the formations of data is stored in a particular location, right? So that is the meaning of data. So collection of informations, collection of raw related items, raw related data items, raw items, raw elements. So collection of elements or collection of informations that you are going to define. So database means, so database is a collection of data. Database means collection of data that you are going to store a particular location. That is going to be store a particular location is known as database. Database is a collection of data. So data is a collection of information. Database is a collection of data that we are going to store the particular location. That is database. So what is meant by database management system? Database management system is we are going to manage the database. We are going to maintaining the database. How we are going to handle? How we are going to handle the database means, so if you are going to handle the database means definitely you should perform some operations. Going to perform creation operations, deletion operations, updation operations, remove operation, insertion operations, modifications, alter, updations. So these are the operations we are going to be managed from the database. So that is the meaning of database management system. System means we can able to use some operating system with the installed software of DBMS. So that is the meaning of database management system, right? So database management system is database is a collection of data, so that we are going to handle or that we are going to manage some data is going to be create or retrieve or manipulating the data from the database. So that is the meaning of database management system, right? So the definition of DBMS. The definition of DBMS is a database management system is a software designed to store, retrieve, define and manage the data in a database. So it should be a software designed. Database management system is a software designed to store or retrieve, define and manage the data in a database. Store. So we can able to store, we can able to retrieve. Retrieve means accessing. Define, definitions. We can able to define the data and manage the data. How we are going to manage? Some operations will be performed in the category of manage, right? Some operations. What kind of operations? Creations, deletions, remove, updations, insertions, alterations. So these are the operations we are going to be managed in the data from the database. So definitions of database is database management system is a software designed to store, retrieve, define and manage the data in a database, right? Next thing is DBMS manage incoming data, organize it and provides a way for the data to be modified or extracted by the user or other programs. So incoming data. So incoming data means user going to be store the data. So incoming data means nothing that user going to be store the data and they are going to be organize it. Organize means arrange. We are going to be arrange it and provide ways for the data to be modified. So how we are going to be modified? How we are going to be extracted with the using of DBMS database management system for extracted by user or other programs. So user means our client side. So we are going to be modified or we are going to be extract or the program going to be modified or program going to be extract. So this is the DBMS manages incoming data, organizes it and provides ways for the data to be modified or extracted by the user or other program. Some of the DBMS example including, so the best applications or best software for DBMS. Some of the DBMS example include MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft Access, SQL Server, FileMaker, Oracle, RDBMS, DBase, Clipper and FoxPro. So these are the application, these are the software that we are going to implement the concepts of database management system, right? So some of the DBMS example is what? SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft Access, SQL Server, FileMaker, Oracle, RDBMS, DBase, Clipper and FoxPro. So these are the software or these are the applications that we are going to implement the concepts of database management system, right? So one more definition is a database management system is a system software. A database management system is a system software for creating and managing the database. DBMS is a system software for creating and managing a database. A DBMS makes it possible for end user. A DBMS makes it possible for end user to perform the operation. So what are the operation? We can able to create, we can able to read, update and delete the data in a database. So these are the operations we are going to be manage the database. These are the operation. What are the operations? Create operations, read operations, update operations and delete operations are the operations we are going to be managed in a database. The most prevalent type of management platform, the DBMS essentially serves as an interface between the databases and the end users. Database means collection of data, right? So database means collection of data that are going to be stored in a particular location. There is having some database in a particular location and the end user is our side. As a user, we are the user, right? So we are going to perform some operations, we are going to retrieve some data in a database. There is having interface in between the databases and the end users. There is having interfaces in between databases and end users, right? Or application program. Ensure that the program is consistently organized in remains easily accessible, right? So interface means there is having some or DBMS applications, DBMS software, right? So DBMS software that are going to be implemented in between the databases and the end user, right? So this is these are the basic definitions of database management system. Next, so the pictorial representation of database management system is, this is the graphical representation. The graphical representation of database management system is applications, other DBMS, first layer. The first layer is applications, other DBMS users. Second one is DBMS and the third one is storage area. The pictorial representation of the layers is, first layers are applications, other DBMS and users. Second layer is interface. So interface look like a software or applications, DBMS applications or DBMS softwares. So that applications are going to be define a data or record or query, update, manage the data from the data storage area of the database, right? So this is the graphical representation of the database management system. Graphical representation of the database management system. So this first layer is user. So user going to be handle some data within the data storage. Users are going to be handle some data in the data storage area of database management system, DBMS. In between the user and the database, the DBMS interfaces are there. The DBMS interfaces are there. So DBMS interfaces is none other than DBMS application. DBMS applications or DBMS software. So DBMS interfaces are DBMS applications or DBMS software, right? So these softwares are going to be defined or record or query data from the database management system, right? So storage area. So this is a small graphical representation of database management system, right? Okay. So the topmost 5 database softwares that we are going to be used nowadays means, first one is Oracle. So Oracle is the number 1 database management system software applications, Oracles. Most of the companies, most of the institutions are going to be use the same software, Oracle. So Oracle having some generations. The recent generation is 12th generation. Oracle 12th generation, 12G. Oracle 12G. So Oracle is most of the companies or most of the MNC, most of the schools and most of the institutions are going to be use the software is Oracle. This also Oracle software is going to be implement the concepts of database management system. Right. Next software is PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, IBM DB. So these are the most top 5 database software system in now the recent trends of these applications, right? So these are the icons. So these are the icons that are going to be using this DBMS database management software is Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Azure, MySQL, SQLite, PostgreSQL. So these are the icons. These are the image that they are going to use the application softwares of database management system, right? Next, so in our subject, the objectives of our subject. So objective means what we are going to be learn in this subject, database management. So what are the things we are going to be learn in this subject? We are going to be learn. First point is to learn the fundamentals of data models. To learn. So objective means none other than, so what are the things we are going to be learn in this database management subject, right? Database management system subject, right? Okay, first objective one is to learn the fundamentals of data models and to represent a database system using ER diagram, right? The first objective is to learn the fundamentals of data models and to represent a database systems using ER diagrams, right? So second objective is to study SQL and relational database design, and third one is to understand the internal storage structures using different files and indexing techniques, right? So all of you know that's meaning of indexing, right? So structure of files. So indexing means that is having some structured file, structuring the file. In that structuring file, we can able to use the indexing techniques, which will help in physical DB design. And fourth one is to understand the fundamental concepts of transaction processing, concurrency. And fifth one is control techniques and recovery procedures, to have an introductory knowledge about the storage and query processing techniques. These are the objectives, these are the points they are going to be learn in the subjects of database management system. Next, outcomes. After completing this subject, after we have learned the subjects, what are the things we are going to be known? What are the contents we are going to be implement, or what are the contents you are going to be execute? One is classify the modern and futuristic database applications based on the size and complexity. First outcome means what after completely successfully completed the subject, after completely studied your subject, you can get the outcomes, you can get the output, right? After studied the subject, you can able to get the knowledge of classify the modern and futuristic database application based on the size of complexity. The first point, right? So classify the modern and futuristic database application based on size and complexity. Second outcome is mapping, that means drawing ER model to design relational model to perform the database effectively. So if you are going to be perform, or if you are going to be create a database, means definitely you should design a ER model. After that only you can able to perform the database. So map ER model to design a relational model to perform a database effectively. And third one is write queries using normalization criteria and optimization queries. Write a queries, that means questionnaires. Write a queries using normalization criteria and optimize queries. And fourth outcome is compare and contrast various indexing strategies in different database system. Compare and contrast various indexing strategies in different database systems. Final outcome is appraise how advanced database differ from traditional database. So we are going to be classify how the traditional database differ from advanced database. There is having advanced database and also having traditional database, right? So how we are going to be classify? To classify how advanced database differ from traditional database. So these are the things, these are the outcomes that we are going to be studying in your subject database management system, right? These 5 outcomes are going to be utilized.